from getpharmacyadvice.com, and I was just thinking today about my love for coffee. I love coffee. I love the taste, I love the warmth, I love everything about it. But I think what I love most is the caffeine. Yes, it keeps me going. And then I thought about caffeine withdrawal. And I think that I could actually go through a caffeine withdrawal syndrome if I did not have my coffee. So I did a little research, and I found that at one point in time, researchers thought that caffeine withdrawal syndrome didn't even exist. But subsequent randomized trials actually found that there is indeed a caffeine withdrawal syndrome. And it actually there's a genetic predisposition too. So your DNA is hardwired to either have a caffeine withdrawal or not. And it occurs in about 50% of people, the withdrawal syndrome, not the genetic part, but 50% of people that take in caffeine and then stop would have a caffeine withdrawal syndrome. So that's kind of interesting. Not everybody would undergo it, actually only half people. So upon review of the caffeine withdrawal studies or a comprehensive review of the caffeine withdrawal syndrome, validated 10 categories of symptoms. And I'm going to have to glance at a list because I won't be able to remember them off the top of my head, but here they are, the symptoms, the category symptoms. The first one is headache, which is the most popular by far. About 50% of people undergoing a caffeine withdrawal syndrome would have a headache. The next one is tiredness and fatigue. Third one is decreased energy and activeness, decreased alertness, attentiveness, drowsiness and sleepiness, decreased contentedness and well-being, depressed mood, difficulty concentrating. The ninth one is irritability, and the last one is fuzzy, foggy, not clear-headed. Those all sound very familiar. In an extreme case, you could have flu-like symptoms, nausea, and possible muscle pain, but those are very unlikely. And as I said, headache is the most common by far. Now, your caffeine withdrawal syndrome can occur even if you got as little as 100 milligrams of caffeine per day. The average person in the United States takes in about 2 cups of coffee. We're talking coffee, but that's about 280 milligrams of caffeine per day. So if you got as little as 100 milligrams, you could possibly go through a caffeine withdrawal. And this caffeine withdrawal would probably start within 12 hours to 24 hours of discontinuing the coffee or the caffeine intake. That's not very long. It doesn't take very long for the syndrome to set in. Just a little side note, 4 cups, if you take in 4 cups of coffee per day, you're considered to be a heavy coffee user, just so you can be categorized. So if that's you, congratulations. And then also the incidence and severity of the caffeine withdrawal syndrome increases with the daily dose of caffeine that you get, which makes sense. The caffeine withdrawal syndrome would peak at 1 to 2 days after the withdrawal of the caffeine, and then it could persist up to 9 days. So watch out. It could be 9 days of not feeling so great. Probably the 9 days would be for a more highly addicted person to caffeine, or those with higher daily intakes of caffeine. It only takes your body 3 days to get used to this caffeine intake. So if you weren't a caffeine drinker or coffee drinker, and then all of a sudden you start drinking coffee for 3 days in a row, your body could then get used to it. So if you stopped the next day, you would have a caffeine withdrawal syndrome, if you were prone to a caffeine withdrawal syndrome, that is. So it doesn't take very long to get your body addicted to it either. And then if you didn't like this caffeine withdrawal syndrome, the feelings of it made you feel like crap, you can easily reverse these symptoms by just taking in some caffeine or coffee, anything with caffeine in it. It only takes 30 to 60 minutes to reverse those symptoms. That's great. So how do you avoid withdrawal symptoms? Well, either you just keep drinking your caffeine or taking in your caffeine, or you gradually decrease your caffeine intake. So you taper off it over a week, especially if you're a chronic caffeine user. So just decrease slowly over 1 week, and you shouldn't feel the symptoms, or if you do, they'll be a lot less strong, or they'll be milder. Let's see. I think that's it. Yeah. In any case, if you have a personal experience with caffeine withdrawal syndrome, or if you'd like to just add your 2 cents to this video, then add a comment to the bottom of the article that you see here. That's it for now. I hope all is well. Happy holidays. A little late. Happy New Year is officially the 2nd right now. And that is all for now. Have a great day. Bye.